Hey guys, it's Joel from guntoter.org, and today we're going to talk about 6 essential things you need to get on the range and get training. Now this is assuming that you've already gone out and bought your handgun and you're looking for, hey, what do I need to spend money on? What do I need to prioritize next? Couple things we're not going to talk about in this video. We are not going to talk about handgun enhancements. So we're not going to talk about changing out triggers. We're not going to talk about changing out sights. We're not going to talk about any of that. We're going to talk about even more basic, what are the 6 things that you absolutely need to get on the range and to get better with your handgun. So with that said, very first thing you need some sort of protective gear for you. You need eye and ear protection. Yes, you can go to Walmart, you can buy the cheap stuff, and it will work for a little bit. However, what I would recommend is realistically, shooting is a lifetime task. You know, you've got to get out there, you've got to learn. Once you learn, you have to maintain those skills, which means that you need to go to the range regularly. I think if you spend a little bit more money up front, or at least start to budget for it, it's going to pay dividends in the long run. And I say that as a guy who is listening to his ears ring as he's talking to you. Eye protection. First off, at a bare minimum, whatever eye protection you get needs to have impact ratings of ANSI Z87.1. That's bare minimum. If you want something even better, you can go for something that meets the military standards. The easiest way to find that is if you go and Google what's called the APEL, the Authorized Protective Eyewear List. It's something the Army puts out, has a long list of different eyewear on there that not only meets the impact standards, but also protects you from some environmental things like, say, the sun and so on. I'll give you an example of something that's at least was on the APEL when I bought it. I don't know if it's on there right now, but these are Wiley X Valor. They have interchangeable lenses. So when I'm outdoors, as you can see, I was outdoors last time I was shooting, you can put on the darker lenses to protect your eyes. When you're indoors, you can switch them out, put in the clear lenses. They are a little pricier than your standard kind of impact resistant glasses, but they're very comfortable. They stay on your head well. They don't slide down while you're shooting. And the fact that they're interchangeable is really nice. When it comes to ear protection, I normally double cover. That means I put the soft foamies in my ear and I put the muffs over my ears, and I do that whether I'm indoors or outdoors. Like I said, ringing in the ears, hearing loss, that's what happens when you don't pay attention to this earlier in life. So for new shooters, I highly recommend these over-the-ear protections. Howard Light, these are their Impact Sport line. And the reason I like them is because, as you can see, they have a microphone here. So what that does is it's actually amplifies the sound around you. So say if the range safety officer is giving you commands, or you're at a training class and the instructor is talking to you, you can hear it without having to take your ear protection off. Now, when a gun goes off, or when there is a sound that exceeds a certain decibel level, it turns off that microphone, so it protects your ears, but also allows you to hear. And I'm a huge fan of that. It's so much better, especially when you're in training, than trying to yell back and forth to someone and hope you understand what's going on. 2 things you can buy if you want to make these a little more comfortable. As you can see on here, I have Noise Fighter gel pads. 2 nice things about that. 1, they're gel, which feels a lot better than the foam that comes with it. And 2, they have this little cutout here in the top, which allows you to slide your sunglasses in there, your protective eyewear, in there, and it doesn't dig into the side of your head. The other thing you can get is a wrap that goes around the headband, and this has a little bit of cushion in there, makes it a little more comfortable for long days of shooting. Between these 2 items, I have worn these Howard Lights for anywhere from 10 to 12 hours at a time, and it's still remarkably comfortable. These wraps are inexpensive. This particular one is from OC Tactical, and I believe it's about $15. Not a big deal. These Howard Lights, you can find them for anywhere from $50 to $75. sounds like a lot, much like the Wiley X's sound like a lot, but in the long term, a set of quality eye protection and a set of quality ear protection is really going to help you out. So, off that soapbox. Next thing you need, ammo. Ammo makes your gun go boom. If you don't have ammo, you can't get live fire practice. There's still dry fire that you can do, and dry fire is very good, but you always need that live fire. Plus, if you go to take a class, you're going to need ammunition for the class. And if you intend to use your firearm for either personal protection or concealed carry outside your home, you're going to need quality ammo for that. Now, I wrote a separate blog post about ammunition, how to tell what your gun needs, and some of the different types. So I don't double cover things. I'm not going to cover it hardcore here. But if you're going to be doing training, go get some Full Metal Jacket or some ball ammo. You don't have to buy expensive stuff. Training ammo is usually fairly inexpensive, fairly cheap. I used to go get it at Walmart. Dating myself since Walmart doesn't sell pistol ammo anymore. But if you go online, and you can bulk order it for relatively inexpensive. When it comes to hollow point, if you are going to carry, and hollow points are legal in your state, there are some states hollow points are not legal, please know your local laws. Quality hollow point ammunition, you need it. I mentioned in the previous article, luckygunter.com has an entire post where they test different defensive ammo. I would suggest reading that. I will put a link to my article down in the comments, and you can go read that. You can go read Lucky Gunner and so on and so forth. So you're going to need ammunition, and you're going to need to buy the ball ammo fairly consistently, and you're going to need to get out to the range. With your protective ammo, if you buy hollow point ammo, buy enough that you can shoot it through your gun as practice. Not every time you go practice, but you need at least once put that defensive ammo through your gun, make sure it works in your gun, and that you're not going to have malfunctions. So the last thing you want to do is be carrying ammo, and then at the time you need it, it doesn't work for you. Another thing, you've got ammo, you've got protective gear, you're probably going to need a holster, especially if you take classes. If you're going to take classes, especially any defensive classes, are going to need you to have a holster. There are so many holster options out there, and honestly, you're probably going to end up buying several. I have a box of holsters upstairs, and there's a running joke among guys who have owned guns for a long time. Every one of us has a box of holsters that we've gone through. But when you're starting out for carry or to take a class, you don't need a super crazy holster. You can get a basic quality holster like this one from Priority One Holsters. I recommend them because they're local to me. I know the guy who makes them. I know his wife. They do good work. These are not the fanciest holsters in the world, but they are solid, and the price that you pay for the quality that you get is awesome. One thing I will say is if you order one of their holsters, they offer this upgrade to this tuckable belt clip. I recommend you do that. And you get the thread locker. I like these tuckable belt clips a little bit more because they give you more options, and I think they're a little more secure than the standard belt clip that they use, which is actually the standard belt clip that a lot of different companies use. These are just a little more secure, and I think that the extra $15 or so that you're going to pay is worth it. So get you a holster, get ready to train, and moving on, you need magazines. Because if you have ammo but nothing to put it in, you can't really train. Most guns nowadays come with 2 to 3 magazines. I personally recommend having 3 to 5 magazines per gun, unless you have like guns that you can use different magazines. Say I've got a Glock 19 and a Glock 17. I can use my 17 magazines and my 19. It's not a big deal, so I don't necessarily have 5 for each because I can interchange them. So highly recommend buying the factory magazines with a very few exceptions. I've had good luck with Magpul magazines in my Glock. Especially for practice, they're great. They're about half the price of a factory magazine, and I can beat them up and not worry about it. For some of the larger metal frame guns, like your Berettas, some of your SIGs, your CZs, MacLeod makes great aftermarket magazines. In fact, they actually make some of the OEM magazines, but their aftermarket magazines are a little less expensive than buying from the company store. So I recommend those. I've used them, 1911s, I've used them on those, I've used them on Browning High Powers, used them on a lot of different things, but they're good magazines. So the reason I recommend having 3 to 5 over just the 2 to 3 that come with the gun is magazines get lost, magazines break, and if you have more magazines, you can have dedicated carry magazines that you don't have to unload and reload constantly, and then you have dedicated training magazines. So like I said, recommend 3 to 5. On the line of holsters and magazines, I also recommend, while you're over, hopefully at Priority One's website, buy a magazine pouch as well, because especially if you go to a training course, you're going to need that magazine pouch for the course. It's also not going to hurt if you carry an extra magazine when you're concealed carrying. So grab that. Next, a cleaning kit. When you shoot, your gun's going to get dirty. You need a way to clean it. You don't need anything super elaborate on a cleaning kit. I honestly go to the store and just buy a pistol cleaning kit. That's really all you need. As far as lubricant goes, I normally buy break-free CLP, unless, and this is, as I've emphasized before, you have to get into the manual for your gun, unless your gun's manual recommends a specific lubricant. Check that out, make sure they don't. I just run basic break-free CLP because I can use it to lubricate, I can use it to clean. It keeps me from having to have multiple bottles that I have to carry around like to the range and stuff with me. The only real change I make to my cleaning kit is I put a jag, which is a solid brass piece, instead of the loop that normally comes with those cleaning kits. I think the jag gives you a better clean. The loop just doesn't do as good of a job to me. Your choice, but that's what I do. So we talked about how to protect yourself. We talked about ammunition, magazines, holsters, cleaning kits. Now comes the biggest part. Like I said, shooting is a lifetime thing, and it's a lifetime learning thing as well. So you're gonna need to budget for training. I have written a set of blog posts with really basic gun owner information in them. Maybe you've seen those, hopefully you have, hopefully it's been useful. The problem is that with shooting, once you kind of get that base level, you're not going to improve unless you start getting some face-to-face training. And the reason for that is it's very hard to get feedback when you're at home alone watching a video. If you can find a quality instructor and you're shooting in front of them, they will notice things that maybe you didn't. And that's what's really going to help you improve. Plus, they have the wealth of knowledge that they can impart and tailor to your skill level that, once again, is going to allow you to improve without overloading you and possibly confusing you like just watching videos can do. So find a quality trainer near you and budget for that. Quality training generally is not cheap. It doesn't have to be crazy expensive, but it's not going to be cheap. A lot of the classes I've seen, anywhere from $75 for like a half-day class all the way up to $300–400 plus the cost of ammunition for a 2-day class. It sounds like a lot. I get it, but it is something kind of like paying up front for more expensive eye and ear protection. It pays dividends in the long run. And let's be honest, if you're carrying this gun or keeping this gun in your home for protection, isn't it worth it to make sure you actually know what you're doing and you have the right tactics and techniques on your gun and, you know, moving around your house and so on and so forth to, you know, make sure that you're actually defending yourself and your family? I think it is. So budget for training. All right, so those are the 6 things you need, right? You need protection for you. You need ammo, magazines, holster, cleaning kit, and training. Once you have all of this, now you can start thinking about, hey, what do I need to change on this pistol? What sort of enhancements do I want to put on it? The reason I say wait is because until you really know how to run that gun stock, you really don't know what you need to change to fit you. If you go on the forums, I guarantee you, if you go on the forums or on Facebook or anything like that right now, you can get a list, this long of here's all the things you need to change on your gun. This is the best of this, is the best of this, so on and so forth. Like I said in my video about picking a gun, just because I tell you that some enhancement is the greatest thing ever, that doesn't mean it actually is for you. You need to make sure that you know how to run the gun and that enhancement is actually going to help you. You can't do that if you buy the enhancement right away as soon as you get the gun, throw it in there. You have no idea what stock feels like. Learn stock, then tailor your gun to you. So focus on these 6 things, and then later you can start working on enhancing your gun. All right, guys, so that was a lot of talking. Thanks for watching the video. As much as I do love sitting here and talking, if you weren't watching, it would really be kind of pointless. So thanks for stopping by and spending some of your time. I hope it's been useful for you. If you have questions or comments, please hit me up. Facebook, leave a comment down below. I do check those fairly regularly and I try to respond. If you want to send me an email, you can send me an email. All that stuff's going to be down in the description. If you've got a question, if you want me to cover something in a video, feel free to throw that out there. If you think I'm all sorts of jacked up, I mean, that's cool too. What I would like is if you think I'm jacked up, tell me why I'm jacked up. Don't mind if you have that opinion, but I would like you to back it up with why you think I'm jacked up, because I can't get better if you don't tell me that. So finally, hope this has been useful for you. If you'd like to support the channel, I do have a Patreon. That'll be down below. I'd appreciate it if you'd hit like, hit subscribe, and hit your notifications, and if you'd share the video as well. Thanks again for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.